we are going right now. This is going to be something different that we are normally going to be talking about. I'm excited to have reached out to SNS, and we have gotten, or am going to be getting, a cool kit from them. I'm just getting all my stuff set up here. Excuse me. Appreciate your guys' patience. I know we're running a little bit behind. Was running into some technical difficulties, but we are up and running. So, like I was saying, the kit, the product that I'm getting from SNS is their CP4 Gen 2 disaster prevention kit. And I'm really excited to get my hands on this tangible part, this component, this add-on, I guess, to our fuel system. And it is something that we get asked a lot about here on the channel. And I think that everybody is going to want to get this for their truck. I'm just getting one more here. Yeah, you guys should check out SNS Motorsport. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on YouTube. They have they had a Gen 1, which required you to cut a line and deburr that line and add on their kit. But since production of Gen 1 has come Gen 2, a better way, a more efficient way, something that's more user-friendly, and they all have quick disconnects. So obviously with quick disconnects, that is going to be way better to install onto your truck. I personally wouldn't want to cut lines on my truck, but having the OE aspect of using the quick disconnects is what I'm all about. So, there is work play. I tow 32,000 pounds every day. Do you think it's a good idea for me? Well, frig yeah, bud. You're using the best truck on the planet. Oh boy, CP4 dirty talk. We're getting dirty. We're not getting dirty. We're getting
clean.
We're getting clean. We're getting clean. We're getting educated. Luke and Justin over at SNS have been awesome with going over their kit with me. I'm looking very forward to getting that into my hands, because when we talk about parts and stuff, in theory about how everything is going to be installed onto the truck, wouldn't you want that in your hands to actually touch, to look at, to see what's going on with it? So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'm going to try to, let's see here. How could I bring up that thumbnail really quick? I want to see if I can find this for you guys. To show you exactly what I'm talking about. Cody, why don't you backdoor me the chat section? Why don't you show me a link for that
kit?
That kit, or the picture that I had put up on the thumbnail. So if you guys have been following the channel and watching what we've been talking about, listening to what we were talking about, these CP4s have been a hot topic of the internet, and these 6.7s and their CP4 pumps. And it first started talking about these a while ago, and people, like, we don't call them CP4 pumps at work or at in the Ford parts catalog. Like, we don't go to parts and say, hey, I need a CP4 pump. I don't, that's a Bosch terminology. Well, continuing in the 6.4, realm, now the CP4 pump is front and center with these 6.7s. And, when Ford designed these, unfortunately, they were using standards over in Europe, European standard fuel, and did testing and so forth with that variable. Well, that variable is not the same as over here in the States, and it lacks lubricity. It's more, I don't, for the sake of argument, because I don't have the technical terms, that fuel is more oily. That fuel has more lubricity in it. That fuel is going to be better lubricating, has better lubricating properties. So why is that not over here in the United States? I don't know. But the one thing I do know is that every single tank that you are going to run in your truck is going to have an additive, whether it's an acetane boost, whether it's the stuff that DS and I are running. We have Hot Shot Secrets. We've been running AMSoil. I haven't been really getting with the Motorcraft stuff because I'm done with the Motorcraft additive. Parts, filters, etc. I'm all about it. But the fluids, I think there may be better alternatives. So, talking about fluids and what is going into these trucks, the most important I feel right now is fuel. And all you guys out there running these trucks, even my man down here, two of them, look at them. Last two comments. Add additive every tank, laugh out loud. Hot shots everyday diesel treatment. Boom. Right there. Power service right here. It is so important. I'm actually in the middle of trying to sell a vehicle. If you guys, I haven't put it up, the best fuel additive, everybody start chiming in. What's the best fuel additive for your 1767? Bronze Fire Super Duty? You just heard us rattle off some. I'm trying to sell a 1367. It's one of my great customers, has been servicing it since 2013, since it was brand new. And if you guys are interested, DM me and I give you information. But the point I'm trying to make is this older couple came looking by, and she had opened up the fuel door and was pointing at the blue and green caps. And, do I put this in here? And okay, so this person may not know, but the question that I'm really asking him in my head, are you going to be cognitive about what this truck is actually going to take to use? You're not going to be rolling around the hood cruising in this. This is a tool for somebody to use, for somebody to work. And if you're going to use it properly, it's going to keep you rolling on the road. So, I can only sympathize for this potential new buyer that I can't. Matt, you did get the invite all in caps. Matt, do you copy? Matt, can you hear me? Matt, check your email. You need to be running an additive every tank. And it is so important because this is how this stuff happens, is when we are running, I don't want to say America's got subpar fuel, but I guess when you compare it to European to here, and because of our emission laws and all the stuff that comes out the tailpipe, we have to run different kind of fuel. So, DS, you got your ears on?
Yes, sir.
Word. It is very crucial. So, when you have a high pressure fuel system failure, DS, Cody, you guys, everybody listening, you guys know, Nady, Mr. 40, 90, 60, you guys all know, Richard Duke, you guys all know what happens. That is only used for fuel additive lubricity, not for hocus pocus fuel claims. Like, I don't know, do you want to be stuck with the $12,000 fuel contamination bill because you didn't know you're supposed to run the additives? Now, can fuel system contaminations failures still happen if you are running an additive every tank. I'm thinking maybe you guys might be, wondering that. Absolutely, it can happen. There's parts that can fail and would cause a catastrophic, repair. But the variable that Ford can't control, and we are trying to control as best we can, is fuel. And fuel is the heart of how Austin Bros, what is up? Thank you, brother. He knows. My man here was filming while we actually took the CP4 pump, kind of almost like Luke did. One of the owners over at SNS, the one we actually had on our bench, some customer had put DEF in the fuel system, and the CP4 obviously took a crap. And I was able to pull that apart and look at the springs and the pistons and actually show you guys the exploded view of that. So when that fails, and this is what we're trying to prevent. SNS kit, snsdiesel.com. They have the website. I'm clicking on their link right now. I'm going to the website. Gen 2 6.7 Ford Power Stroke CP4.2 bypass kit 2011 to current model year. New and improved disaster prevention kit. Safeguards fuel injectors. Guys, read us off. Safeguards the fuel injectors, the rails, the lines, and the tank from CP4 debris. All OE style quick disconnects. A 2-micron return filter tested for flow and efficiency. And this filter is actually very, 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 very similar to what looks like the 6-liter upper fuel filter housing. Clear fuel filter bowl for inspection. Fuel supply split off 25 inches away from the CP4 pump, 11 to 21 compatibility, and the most important of them all, this is made in the USA. Daddy Diesel, America. This kit is going to run you about $400, but $400 for the added insurance of having the safeguard to know that if you do have a CP4 failure or a high pressure system failure, if you have this on your truck, your likelihood of having an issue with your fuel system other than the high pressure fuel pump is going to be slim to none. So I know there are other competitors out there that have similar components.
So let's talk about this kit. I'm interested in the return fuel filter stream, and to me it seems like if you're filtering the fuel twice, you got your primary filter down by the tank, you've got your secondary filter up in the engine bay. I would think you don't have to mess with that third filter screen to the return for the return line. Because if I'm doing this, I don't want to have another step. They say is it cleanable? I'm thinking about the SPE one. I know that one's cleanable. So is this something that you clean out, or you verse spray it with air, or what do you do with that?
It's replaceable. The biggest thing with the return filter is you're going to catch all of that metal that's getting sent out of the pump.
Right.
So you don't have to.
In the case of a failure.
So you don't have to drop the tank and clean the lines again.
But on a regular basis, am I going to see? Are people going to see anything on a perfect day? Nothing fails, business as usual. I wonder if you'll see anything in that filter. Will it need to be replaced, or will it just be fine?
Well, I guess it's going to be based on inspection. If you see through that clear bowl, if you got an issue.
So the filter is replaceable. Is it something that's cheap?
$30 from their website.
Yeah, $30 for the filter.
So in a way, you have another level of filtration. Now, as far as the micron size on that filter, is it doing anything beyond what the factory system, even though it's after the CP4 pump and it's after the injectors, I would imagine, or before the injectors? So it's protecting the injectors. So it'll be right before the injectors.
It's after. It's on the return side.
It's on the
I think I sent Aaron the picture though. Well, I sent him the link. He might have the diagram up there.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. Let me
so
go.
so can a CP4 failure still take out the injectors, or will this filter prevent?
This is going to keep it from going into the part of the high pressure fuel pump that is going to allow it to go to
Basically
the
how
thing.
the kit works is they block off the VCV port. So you got an inlet and an outlet that would normally feed the whole pump. It'll go into the crankcase first, then it goes through this port into the VCV. Well, they have a block off for that port, so it's sending fuel right straight to the pump to lubricate and cool it, and then it tees off and sends clean fuel to the VCV. So only way it could really cause a failure again is if that metal starts going back up the line, then go through the T and go to the VCV.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole point of this kit is if something happens that causes the CP4 pump to fail,
It's
isolating
just the pump.
Yeah, it's isolating that pump so you don't lose your entire fuel system.
And that's all it's designed to do, is to save the fuel system, not to save your pump.
So instead of having a $12,000 repair, you're looking at a
$1,500.
Okay.
So, my man here in Texas, Jason, how's SNS customer service? I'm going to tell you, pretty much really quick is first impressions stick. And the rate of which Facebook was answered, email, prompted with a phone call, email from the owner, I am fully understandable. Everybody's got a lot going on. Do you understand how much I have going on? I get it. I thank you so much. Service right now, A1. A1. And if you're going to take the time to reciprocate back to me, then you have my full attention, as I would hope I was yours. So this would be definitely something I would recommend to have somebody put on their truck. I cannot wait to get it and get a video up for you guys so you can see I want this on my truck. I want to put this on my customers' trucks. I know
I'm curious to how it looks.
I have a customer who just got a 21 Tremor. You guys are going to see it's coming up. I actually put an S&B tank in his truck. Got a video coming up. It's going to be sweet. I hope you guys like that one. And he has been nonstop ever since he ordered this thing. 21 Tremor. We're so happy to take delivery. It's been, I need a fuel. This. I want a drain and on SP drain and disaster. And he's been talking those three words that I don't want to mention anymore because their customer service is for the tank. And everyone, there's a really good, if you guys go on their website, there's a really good flow chart and it's in great color. It's got a picture of a Super Duty up here, a real nice CAD drawing. And
Screen share it.
What? I don't
Screen
know.
Share it.
I couldn't have it up here. I couldn't find it. It just clicked on the link and it went to their website. Let me go back to it.
You let me screen share. I can do that.
Yeah, let me go here.
So you, with this disaster prevention kit, you pretty much know all the components. You got a good understanding of what components are going in. So could you give us an estimate on how long it would take you to put this in the truck?
I don't know.
Roughly?
I really don't know. I'd like to see it in hand before I said that. I like this picture right here. This picture is nice. It actually shows you the incoming. It has a legend a little higher, but it shows you the incoming fuel supply, what fuel is going back to the tank, filtered return, and the fact that you don't have to cut any lines I'm really excited to see that. There was one question down here. Let me see what this guy said. Customer service. Okay, Richard Duke. That's another good question. If a person trades a truck, can the kit be switched to a 22 F450? With this quick disconnect kit, I would assume
Here's the
that
application chart.
that could happen. However, currently right now, I can't say that this would fit a 22. I don't know if they've changed anything, but that's definitely a question that we can and will get answered from SNS.
I've got the application chart up right now. 11. It looks like it's 11 through 19, then 20
Just
plus.
20 plus. Okay, so maybe 22. That's a good question. I'm sure a lot of people are going to wonder that because, if they are in the process of, cycling through trucks, and if this is something that they can, swap from truck to truck. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
I can dig that, man.
Oh, that looks really nice.
Fact, you got some Oedeker clamps. Nady, I know he's all about the Oedeker clamps. I
So-
like that.
So is that thing right there? Is that the filter that goes?
Yep. Doesn't that look like a upper 6.0 filter, everybody? I really want to know, I haven't seen the instructions yet, but I'd like to know where that actually goes. Like
Is
where
it
that's
clear?
mounted.
It's clear. It's got a
Yeah.
clear cap, so you can see if anything.
It looks to me like it mounts on the pinch weld on the cowl.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what? This is this looks a lot nicer than that other company.
Yeah.
Just because they give you like a little metal screen, like a little metal mesh screen, where this gives you an actual filter. Like a
All right,
legitimate
Mr.
filter.
Matt, what do you think of this? You know what these things do. You know what happens. You know what you got to go
I
through.
think everyone should stop wasting their money on all these kits and just buy an Exergy VCV.
That
What is
That's
extra?
just me, because you don't have to worry about plumbing more lines and putting this here and can I put that there. You take your upper and lower intake manifolds off, undo the two T25 bolts, pull out your stock Ford VCV, take your Exergy one that's $240, ploop it down in there, and you've got two screens that are 25 microns of protection each. So even if your pump does fail, it's going to clog up and shut the truck down.
That's interesting, Matt.
That is my go-to. I mean, I'm not only saying this because we have a very nice relationship where I work with Exergy. They're one of our customers. But that's something that I can stand behind. That's just
So Matt, your solution pretty much just puts two screens out in there, just so if anything fails, it's either going to clog up the screens.
it's literal. So like the factory screen in the VCV will flow anything 80 microns and bigger. And that screen's also pretty flimsy. For anyone that's ever pulled a VCV out of the truck, you'll see that they're dented or torn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have it's a double wrap screen. So there's two layers. They're both thicker than the factory one, and it'll do 25 microns or larger.
What does the stock filter to? The two filters that you have before it even gets to the CP4 pump. What micron?
I don't know exactly, but your biggest concern is if the pump comes apart, what size particle can get through the screen on the VCV.
Right, that's true. Well,
don't get me wrong. The way
my
that the
point
other
is,
kits work is.
My point is, but at least the factory filter is going to be at least 25 microns.
Well, at least probably. I honestly
I don't
would have
know,
to
but
look, but I don't remember.
Because it would not be cool if stuff could build up in there and you can't tell.
Yeah.
The one thing that's good about this one is you have that inspection clear cap where you can.
Right. But I mean, it's like, okay, if your pump's coming apart and you know it, well, you still have to put a pump on it, right?
Right. Your
Right.
pump's
Like-
still going to fail.
like at
if
the
you
end of
have
the
an
day,
Xenergy in there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay, it's great that you can see that, you're starting to get metal in your system, but you're spending an extra, few $100s more. I mean, it's it's basically the same. You're gonna, if you don't know how to replace a VCV on a truck, then you're paying someone to, you know, go down there and do it. Whereas these other kits, they're plug and play.
So
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
play devil's advocate a little bit now with this kit from, what's it called, SNS.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, it has a paper. It looks like a paper filter.
Yep.
Is that correct? So
Yeah.
so a paper filter is going to have a lifespan regardless. Whereas the system that Matt is describing, being that it's a metal filter, is that correct, Matt? Like a
Well,
metal.
it's literally the valve that controls how much fuel comes out of the pump.
So it
They're
acts like
just-
a orifice almost.
That's what it is. They're just doing their own design to it.
Okay, so you're taking off a orifice and you're putting on a screen that acts the same.
You're basically taking the same one, putting more filtration through it, and I think you have the option of getting one that's higher flowing if you want to make more power.
Okay, so being that it's a paper filter, the lifespan of that filter is probably going to be a good practice to change that filter whenever you change your other filters, because if it's paper, you're not going to want to leave that in there for years and years or forever. It has to come out or else it can break down, I would think.
Right, because that's just another service item, I guess you could say. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, it's on the return side going back to the tank, but you don't want to have a restriction on your return side.
So it is a maintenance item.
If you all the other kits where you tap into the factory system, mostly come with another added level of service that you have to do to it.
The other company, I can't think of their name right now, but they've got the metal screen in line, and they talk about it being cleanable. And it's like, if it's cleanable, why would you want to be metal?
The way I'm looking at, like, if you're gonna have this kit on here, oh, there it is, right there, Cody. Perfect. Okay, all right, I see where that goes. That
I
little
think
8 milli ground bolt. Yep.
Are they
seen
showing
the-
mounting locations?
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
the intervals right here that it needs to be changed. Depending on your use, it's either 25 or 22.5 or 15,000 miles or 600 engine hours, depending on how you use your truck.
So pretty good long service, 600 engine hours.
But check this out though. If you are changing your oil like you should, who gives a flying hootenanny if you have to spend $30 to replace this little filter? Just change the filter. I don't care about the 600. Just change the GD filter.
So what's the micron rating on this filter?
I believe it's 2 microns. I
So
remember.
So with the solution that Matt is describing, I can't remember the name of that company, Matt. Can you
It's
refresh?
not even a solution. It's just an improvement over
Yeah.
a stock component that we know.
Right here.
But that one's 25 microns, Matt.
Yeah.
And then this one's, you said 2 microns?
2. Yeah.
It's
2
on the
micron,
screen.
a replaceable 2 micron filter with a clear view bowl.
So you're getting added filtration to your fuel system, even though it's pre-injector, right?
Well, it's filter.
Post.
Yeah, filtered return.
It's
Let me
gonna
go back to
grab,
the picture.
it's gonna grab everything that your secondary filter doesn't.
Okay, see, here's the filter, Sean. Oh, you probably can't see it.
I can see it. No, I can see your screen that you're sharing.
The
here's
red,
thing.
the red is return. So it's on the return side of everything.
Mhm.
So it's filtering what comes out of the pump and what comes out of the rails.
Before it goes back to the
Back to
tank.
the
And if
tank.
it goes back to the tank, then it goes back into your engine.
So it was my understanding that when the CP4 pump fails, it can take out the injectors too.
Everything.
Yep. Everything.
So does this kit protect your injectors?
Yes, because that blue blocks off the path between the crankcase of the pump and the VCV port. Because there's a path that goes from the pump, from the crankcase of the pump into the VCV, which is where all the metal comes from. Per the videos
Okay.
of Luke showing it, he says most of the failures of the CP4 is from the crankcase.
Mm-hmm.
The other failures are usually a valve failure, which does not cause metal throughout the system. It just causes P0087, low fuel pressure. Doesn't build.
If you guys saw the video that Cody's talking about where Luke was taking this apart, I actually had a video that I had put up on the channel where I took apart that same pump, and you could see even in his video you could see the rollers that more or less ride on that lobe.
And that's the main failure, is the
That
turning
metal
of
to
the
metal.
roller.
But simple answer is yes, your injectors are protected.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as the pump doesn't build up enough metal to backfeed it through the Y pipe into the system,
Is that
which
possible?
he says is possible in theory, but unlikely, because you're going to deadhead the pump, because it's going to block the screen that's inside the pump and just deadhead it into the case.
What do you say to that, Matt?
I mean, all these kits basically work the same. It's just what flavor do you want?
Mm-hmm.
So what I like about this kit is if you want more filtration, you're putting your fuel through a filter that's down to 2 microns, period. You're getting an extra 2 micron filter, and you're constantly cleaning your fuel more, even though it's not really needed, but you are filtering your fuel more. I don't even know, but
I mean, it's the same thing of like, great, you have extra filtration, but most of the vehicles I work on are on a stock system and are 400, 500, 600,000 miles with no problems.
What is the filtration of the stock system? What micron is that?
We don't know. We would have to look that up.
Cody?
I don't know off the top of my head. Not enough.
I don't know if we can figure out what that is. I don't know if Motorcraft is listing it, or
you probably just go look at Purolator's website,
right?
And see what their 6.7 filter kit is.
Yeah, speaking of Purolator, did you guys see that 6.7 air filter I had this week? I had to pry that sucker out of the upper airbox housing, or out of the upper part of the airbox housing.
So as far as install goes, Matt, you talk about removing what, the upper and lower intake, or
Yeah,
what?
you have to get down to the pump.
Either way,
both kits
you're doing it.
Both kits you have to pretty much do as much labor.
That's the thing. Both kits, if you're not mechanically inclined and you don't have either you don't feel confident to do it, or you don't have all the tools to do it, you're going to pay someone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the intakes aren't that bad to take off anyways, in my opinion. But
I'm like, I will say the first time I pulled off a 6.7 intake, I struggled. I was like, are you guys sure this thing comes off?
So how long right now, how long does it take to get to this part?
I'd say probably be a couple hours worth of work to do it by the time you figure everything out.
For like Sean, let's say you're going to do it with hand tools and you've never taken it off, I'd probably say it would take you half a day to put any of the kits in.
Yeah.
Half a day and a few beers.
Yeah.
Now,
if I wanted to just hire it out, how long does it take you to get the intake off and intake on? Now it looks like the kit itself.
5 hours. We just told you.
So 5 hours if I had to hire it out.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 5 hours of work minimum. Plus you got another hour to mess around with the kit.
Right.
I mean, at least an hour, because you've never done it. So let's just say an hour to mess around with the kit. You're looking at 6 hours labor, maybe more.
Trevor Gates asks a question.
Dude, those 6 hours are cheaper than injectors, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's cheaper than the labor to do a high pressure fuel system, drop the tank, clean the tank out, flush the lines, flush the fuel cooler.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not completely full, there's just...
Here's another thing to consider, though. You guys both work in dealerships. if I wanted to go into a dealership and get this done, would a Ford dealer even take this on? It's not a Ford part.
Probably not. No.
So I'd have to
Depend-
know.
I'd put it on, but that's just me.
Well, yeah, that's you, that's me.
But
But if
would
you were to
you
take
be
this
able?
to
Would
Johnny
you?
Dingling's dealer, they're gonna be like, what is that? I don't.
Would
even
you
know.
be
No,
able to
get outta
write
here.
this up though as like
No.
oh through? No, you wouldn't. You.
They don't want to be even
to-
attached. They don't want to
No.
even be affiliated with that.
It
Yeah,
So you
depends.
need- so
really
you're gonna-
depends on the dealer.
If you're
Yeah.
gonna hire this out, you need to have a relationship with the mechanic or go to an independent shop.
Well, no, it's
Correct.
just don't be surprised when you go there and they say we can't, warranty the parts or the labor or anything that happens afterwards because we can't. We just can't. That's not in our line of work.
Hey, Mr. Matty B, I think you're the one that should really answer this question for Mr. Trevor over here. He's got quite a question.
Does it filter diesel exhaust fluid?
I don't even know how to answer that.
This, like would it filter it out of your fuel system?
I guess we need to have some more
Probably
explanation.
not. I'm just gonna say no. That's the safest way to put this is no.
No DEF in fuel. Period.
Nope.
Just don't do it. It's like the video of that guy freaking out at the kids in the park. Don't do it in the park. Just don't do it. Do the opposite of what Shia LaBeouf says. Don't do it.
That's a good question. I don't. Man,
This guy says Ford OEM filters are around 5 microns. That very well could be true. I don't know. I've never heard that before.
You can put a Whipple on a 7.3 in 5 hours. I like this.
CP4. I'm really excited to get this kit in my hands. I know you just saw it here on the screen share, but yeah, I guess the next question that I really should ask is how many out there who are watching, all 58 of you, 57, who has this on their truck? Who wants to get this out on their truck? If you're watching, comment. I want to know right now. I want to see them all come up. Up. Nope, don't want it. Yep, got it. Ordered 2 of them. Nope, still waiting. Let me know. I want to know what you guys got going on. Who are you using? Have you gotten SNSs? Did you get Gen 1? Did you get Gen 2? Are you running blank, blank, blank? Are you running somebody else's? I want to know what's out there in the field right now, because I really do not see any of these setups come into my shop on the trucks. I only hear about it. I see it. We're talking about it tonight. I'm so glad to have reached out to SNS to find out more information. So we'll see what these comments come in. What's this guy say?
American Truck Nation has a small dealer. Where is
I'm looking
he
for a kit like
from?
this.
I've installed the Gen 1s on trucks, and I mean, it works. I just don't like cutting the line. That was my biggest gripe about it.
He
Yeah,
says it was a
had-
joke. That's so funny. I'm
I
like,
had
is this
put-
guy being for real?
I had put one on, and all I could think is like, you guys seriously have come up with this thing that I have to hack apart a fuel line for.
yeah, that's not cool.
It's
But
just,
Gen 2, you don't have to.
and then I got to use a compression fitting, and I really don't like compression fittings for anything. Side note, if anyone ever says they're going to put a compression fitting on your brake lines, just run the other way. Literally run the other way as fast as you can.
I've seen it.
Look at this guy's
Sean's
guy
like,
Sison Hall.
I've done it.
I like that. I like that comment.
Hey, listen,
You know what, man? That's what everybody's saying.
We've all had rough
Coming
days
soon.
and had to put
Waiting.
those old compression fittings.
We've been waiting this whole time.
SPA is like Walmart on my bicycle. I haven't seen it come in the mail yet.
This guy says, don't have it, but want to, just don't want garbage. I don't know about that, Monster
Aye.
GT. We'll see. I just burned good Canadian. I just burned good Canadian diesel, bud.
Oh, I mean, Trevor, the kits are sellable because I don't really care how much heat I get for this. You're just selling fear more than
Oh yeah,
anything.
yeah. I remember what I was gonna say now. So you get this kit, and we know it's not perfect as far as we're protecting the rest of the system. But you
Dude,
can
that is
still,
hilarious.
Is that crazy or what?
That is funny.
I told him he better check in, and he did. Lo and behold, I got a doppelganger someplace, somewhere.
That's
But what's up, my
funny.
man? Took me a
Oh,
month and a half to get my special kit. Yeah. Hey,
but here,
DS.
so you got this kit on your truck, and somehow, some way, you can still get a failure because everything is quick release. Should you, if you're under warranty, should you be trying to hide that this kit was ever there because it's not a Ford part or Ford factory? What should you do? Should you take it in?
It's going to be carb. It's going to have a carb EO number. So, I mean,
It's not.
theoretically, it's not going to cause a warranty. I mean, how can I?
No,
Here's the thing: how can Ford prove this kit caused the failure? They can't, because the failure of the pump is normally due to a rotated lifter destroying the pump. They can't prove the S&S kit caused the failure, which is what Ford has to do to
that's a good
kick the
point.
claim.
So don't take it off, obviously, because that's going to throw stuff all over the system. But leave it
I
in.
mean, it doesn't matter because probably in most cases, your pump failing and you being able to warranty it is a very slim chance.
Which is a good reason why you should have some kind of a kit, because it is a slim. Well, geez, if it's a slim chance, that's not good. It's a lot of money to have a slim chance on coverage.
I want to know.
That's why most people usually just claim it with their auto owner's insurance.
I want to know what European fuel looks like. If I had a glass of European diesel and a glass of American diesel fuel, does it look different? Does it smell different? I mean, I know it probably smells like diesel, but like, does it feel different?
No, it's the same. It's fuel.
I don't know.
It's fuel.
Antimatter blue, star white, and lithium gray are my favorites for 21. Did you guys see this Atlas blue they got? Man, I tell you what, they got some sick colors. I mean, I like the black, but blue is my favorite color. So, CP, that new gray is sick. That carbonized gray.
Oh, I know where the store is. Yeah. If they don't sell Super Duties, that's kind of a funny thing. I think people don't know about Ford dealers. If you sell it, you have to work on it. So if you sell Super Duties with diesels, you have them on the lot, you have to work on them. It's the same thing with medium duties. So, if so-and-so dealer sells medium duty trucks, 650s and 750s, and they don't have the capability to work on them, Ford basically says, too bad, you either don't sell the truck or you get the equipment to work on it.
Right. Yeah, you got to have special, vehicle hoists and obviously skilled enough mechanics to work on these heavy trucks. So
it's interesting things.
Well, yeah, it gets real. It gets real interesting when you get into some of these. What is it? When did it get into air brakes? 650s or
650s.
Yeah. So you're getting into air brakes, and that's a whole different ball game.
Yep, gotta have your air brake cert.
You got the whole slack adjusters and the S cams and all that stuff.
Air dryers.
Oh wow, yeah.
All sorts of things.
We were talking about that a while back when we were talking about even the CDL license, where it's there's a little bit of an issue sometimes when a vehicle's over that 26,001 pounds, and the mechanic, in order to test drive it, there needs to be a CDL.
Yep.
We found out about that in Florida.
Here, can someone in the chat answer this for me, where you guys are? do you guys need to have a CDL or a different level of license to drive like a 1-ton dually or bigger? Because I know in some places you have to have a CDL to drive something like a 350 dually up to a 550 dually. And then you have to have a different CDL to drive like a 650, 750.
Mhm.
I've heard some areas they require a CDL over 10,000 pounds,
Right.
which is excessive, man.
Which I don't know if that's they require a CDL or if you just have to have a DOT medical card.
Right? I don't know. Someone
Mhm.
said that. This is stuff I've heard from just guys talking. Who knows? Seems like that's a federal thing that's kind of universal. But
Negative for North Carolina. All
right,
depends on
so
GVW in Florida.
Depends on GVW. It's kind of what I figured. That's what I figured. Not in Illinois. Okay. I thought Illinois might have been one of those states that was one that you had to have different licensing for, but that is good to know.
Now, Raylan, I know you do, landscaping and stuff like DS, pulling trailers and whatnot. Does insurance or does anything for your business require you to have a chauffeur's license or a CDL for the weight and stuff that you pull, or
For the weights I pull, no, I don't have to have
just
a
regular
CDL.
operators?
Yep. Yep.
Word.
Even with the plates, because I know once you get into commercial plates here, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've heard that too, American Truck Nation. We were actually talking about that with, it was on a back podcast we did with Vinny, one of the fabricators from American Chopper we had on, and his brother was actually on, and we were talking about that with him because he does a lot of municipality work, and for whatever reason has a lot to do with vehicle weights and whatnot. So we were going into some detail about that. It was quite interesting. This guy, Richard Duke, says difference in class A and other weight over 26,000. Yeah, 26,000, I guess is the magic number.
Yeah, I mean, that's your federal standard is 2601
Mhm.
or anything over 26,000, you would have to have a class B CDL.
Who wants to drive air brakes anyway? Things suck.
Dude, have you driven anything with an air disc though?
no.
Money.
Nope.
A 650, 750.
You know what?
Well, was that an air drum or an air disc?
Probably
There's
air
a-
drum.
There's a question on the CDL test. It kind of bothers me. It talks about air brakes, and it's something about how air brakes take a little
yes.
bit of time to react. And the question is, air brakes take longer than hydraulic brakes to react because, and it goes through all the different
What
questions, and it says because
happened?
the answer is because it takes air longer to travel through all the different intricate routing of the hoses. You guys hear me?
Say that one more time.
I don't know. My stuff just went wacko.
I know. It sounded like it was creaking. Can you hear us? Cody, you there?
I can hear you.
I'm here.
I can hear you.
Matt?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Good.
everybody. DS, say that one more time.
So yeah, there's this question on a CDL
Yeah.
CDL test, and it's talking about the brakes, and it's between the hydraulic brakes and the air brakes, and they want you to say that air brakes take longer to stop because it takes the air longer to travel through the lines. But I would think it's because air is compressible. It takes a minute for it to compress before it can really,
Well, yeah,
versus
you,
a hydraulic system, which
you
is
just answered your question.
But the answer to the question is, like, the answer that they want you to say is that it just takes longer for it to go through the lines, which I guess is kind of true, but
SVT performance, 0. This is the most hilarious thing about US DOT laws. Is that you can take any vehicle, register it as an RV, and drive it and not have to have any training. The same thing that, like, in most states, you can haul a unlimited GVW and amount of trailers behind your truck and you're fine.
What? What do you mean you can haul an unlimited amount of trailers behind your truck? What do you mean?
Like, have you ever been going down the road and you'll see like an F-150 with like a 40-foot toy hauler on a fifth wheel? That's way too much trailer for the truck with a boat behind it. And then like
Every
Yeah, like,
weekend.
a triple axle trailer with like 4 side-by-sides on the back.
Yep.
I mean, only online. I never seen it in person.
Dude, you'll see it on 131 going,
But I don't think
north
you can
all the time.
I don't think you can do an unlimited amount though.
Well, I'm just saying you basically can, and there's no regulation against it, which
I
I
didn't
think
know
is
that, man.
hilarious.
I didn't know there was no regulation against that. There's definitely a regulation against for commercial use. How many depending on your area. In our area, I don't think. Can you do 3 trailers in our area if it's commercial use?
Ford's exhaust brake is just fine. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a freaking Cummins. It sounds like a tractor
I like mine.
doing the old. Yeah, it's not that, but the exhaust brake on the 6.7s does a heck of a job of slowing the truck down. 6.0 hot no start. Starts cold. Replaced all seals on injectors, dummy plug, and standpipes, but still is happening. Did you check that little what is it? The push to connect, snap to connect fitting on the back of the pump?
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not the giant 6-liter guy that Aaron is. I'd rather work on a 6.7, but that's just
I
me.
wasn't reading it. 6.0 hot, no start. Starts cold. Replaced all the seals on the. I don't know what seals you would replace on the injector. We don't replace seals on the injectors.
Oh, maybe
Dummy
he's talking
plug.
about the ones in the rail.
Dummy plug and standpipe splits still happening. Idea what could be. Well, instead of me going into a long, drawn-out explanation, which if you want me to, you can hit that super chat, or you can go to the playlist that I have for 6.0s that are the air leak tests, and I'm almost certain you're going to find your problem.
You can also do a high pressure test. Just to disconnect all the injectors and crank it. It's same. It'll just do higher. It'll just do a higher PSI check than just air.
Okay, work play. I know you can hear us right now. Okay.
See, this is what I'm talking about, and it's like what I said is exactly what I'm talking about. It's hilarious that you can get away with anything as a personal, like as a private owner.
We're talking about America for Daddy Diesel laws. Workplay is actually up in Nova Scotia, and that is in Canada. And he may have actually some different requirements than us. I'm not sure what those are, but Workplay. Bud, if you're sitting there typing, Bud, get in this live chat with us.
Hey, bud.
Get you here on the Zoom and freaking tell us it's a joke. I don't know what.
Yeah, go get yourself a nice cup of Bim Jortons, Timmy Ho-Hos, whatever you want to call it, and come have a chat with us.
Yeah, I do know that trailer. I was watching your trailer video, and that dovetail, how that thing come, dude, that's a badass trailer, dude. I'm still working on the 12-volt thing.
Words.
I'm still working on the 12-volt thing. I haven't forgot about you. But yeah, that's a bad
yeah, dude. You
mama
should
jama.
definitely come on and talk about that 12-volt thing. You know, I don't know if we'll find a solution tonight, but it's definitely something worth bringing up. You know, for the podcast. So, only takes a second. Click a link.
Word.
On your
Strange
phone.
question for A-Rod. Intermittent low fuel pressure warning only during summertime, never during winter.
What's the
That? Yeah, that's pretty
The truck.
strange. Gotta need a little more info. But that's definitely strange. Anything that's gonna get a low fuel pressure warning. I mean, obviously, if you have
I
low
don't
fuel
know.
pressure.
Maybe those cardboard discs float in the summer.
Oh, I've had that happen.
I mean, I guess I notice low fuel pressure more when the primary filter on an 11 to 16 is over or under tightened.
Another thing that I guess I'd like to ask you guys out there. DS, you crack me up, dude.
Dude, you are a
You
goof.
crack me up, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Will the extra lines reduce fuel pressure? No. I am also curious about. Again, I want to tell everybody to if anybody knows anybody that has been suffered with a fire under the hood of their 6.7 regarding a fuel filter or whatever, please pass them my way. I'd really like to get in touch with them and talk to them and see what. Thank you, Carson. And I want
What
to.
happened? What
What?
happened that led
Right.
to?
I want to. I want to
Where
piece
were
that puzzle
you?
together.
Where were you getting filters? Are they Amazon filters? Are they Motorcraft? Are they from the
I just
dealer?
want to
Like,
know.
what's going on?
However, I have been seeing other kits out there that have a Baldwin filter and a billet top. I think the company wasn't it HSM.
HSM, I think.
HSM. I reached out to them as I did SNS, and want to know, like we are here today, a little more info on their kit because I think the Baldwin kit and the billet, I really think it's a slick looking contraption. And they also have the one for the lower one. So it's something other than stock, something
So
a little better.
So the lower one, what does that look like? Is that spin-on filters or
Yeah, so they have like
are
a
they like cat filters or what are they?
yeah, they have a spin-on filter and it's like um we will do it soon, fellas, I promise. The lower one goes into kind of like a manifold and transfers those lines and connections to the side of the inside of the frame where there's an actual spin-on filter. So there's no more cartridge filter. You don't have to buy these two filters together. You can buy this filter independently of each other. And the Ford filters, there's like $110.
Yeah.
These filters are not $110. So
There you go.
yeah, bingo right there. You can see the
Upper, lower.
yeah.
Well, it seems like it makes service a lot easier for the lower if you're just spinning it on instead of taking off all those screws and then so this replaces the water separator for the lower one too as well, or
No, that's just the upper.
Here's the lower kit.
so the lower kit where how you usually drain the water on that plastic thing on that little screw. This thing is that a water separator on the bottom of the filter?
That's how it installs right there.
So there's your new water separator right there on the
Mhm.
bottom of that filter.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Well, if it's cat, you know it's good.
I
You
can
know.
dig that.
How
It's
you
look,
know
it's
good?
up as just as high as the other filter. So it's not like it's hanging down. You're gonna hit it with a piece of debris or something.
Debris.
Now, if you had a bigger fuel tank like the S&B, I could see a potential problem with installation.
They've got you covered there too.
Well, that definitely looks different than what I have on my 450 with my larger.
What is this
larger
guy
filter.
laughing at?
I don't know.
Hey,
You've been giggling.
hey,
You want to say what?
Remember when I had to call you because I thought of something?
No. How could anyone remember that?
Aaron, do you remember that? I called you.
You called me when today? Yesterday?
No,
Today?
it was probably last week. I mean, this is an off-air conversation, but it was a what-if scenario,
Possibly.
and it was what if Sean didn't YouTube, but he did something else.
I'm not remembering. Damn, look at the way that thing looks. I like that. I like that.
Comes with a different fitting for the return line too.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Interesting. I like the
Uh-huh.
my entire truck Bronze Fire Super Duty says is a Ford voided warranty. Too funny. Too funny. I don't know what Matt is talking about.
You read and you will remember, sir.
So with this, when you service this H&S filter, so you're still gonna unclip the clip it. You're gonna unclip it like normal, and then you're gonna unscrew the filter, and then put a new one on, then put it back, and then clip it back.
Pretty much.
That's what I'm thinking. You're not gonna be pulling that out and trying to unscrew the filter while still connected to the lines. That seems kind of questionable. Seems like you'd unhook it, and then you'd separate the filter. From there, you could you pre-fill the filter, or would you just prime it normal? I would prime it like normal, just because.
You could
why?
pre-fill it.
Right.
I mean, it'd be kind of a pain in the butt, but yeah, essentially you're going to go through the same cycling sequence as you would, you know, like you normally do. So you'd push all that air up to the top, and
it's not a bad
yada,
idea.
yada.
I mean, it eliminates that chance of having fuel spraying everywhere. It's not a terrible idea.
Bronze Fire Super Duty. Shoot me an email, bruh. 550, 200K,
Come
250K, 18K daily, and 0 pump issues. Well, Carson Gibson, you're doing something right, bud. You're doing something right.
So we do, we have kind of a loose understanding that the filtration of the factory filter is based on the comments here, 5 microns. It hasn't been confirmed, not really yet, but that's not a bad, it sounds like it could be right. 5 microns for the factory filter. Are you getting the same filtration from these other kits? The cat filter with the H&S filter, is that the same level of filtration that you get from the factory filters? Or more, maybe better filtration?
No Dodge, no Ram. It could be worse. Could be worse, boys. Could be a 2019, 2020 Ram. That thing deserves to be at the bottom of the river, a big lake, a big boat anchor.
Down in the van by the river. Oh, whoop, got that one wrong.
DS Trucks, LOL. Well, everybody, you know, it is always a pleasure to come on here and live stream with you guys, to interact with you guys in the comment section, especially talking about something that could potentially keep our vehicle's cost of ownership to a minimum, because we see these high pressure fuel system failures when we have a variable that we can't control, and that's fuel. So with that said, you know, I'd like to thank SNS for reaching back out to me and getting back with me regarding their kit, because I think a lot of you guys are going to want to see a video of me checking that out and potentially installing on a customer's truck and myself. Tell me what you guys think about that in the comment section after this live stream chat. If you guys are running, if you think about running it, if you do, tell SNS that you heard it over here on Power Stroke Tech Talk with A-Rod, because if it's worthwhile, I'm going to talk about it, because we need to keep these trucks running. If you guys are interested in swag, let me know. I have some shirts going to be putting on a second batch and have some stickers. If you're interested in a 2013 Super Cab Lariat with 120,000 miles on it, let me know. We can talk about that. A big shout out to our first responders, everybody on the crew here tonight, and something that kind of was a little personal. Last week, one of my buddies lost his family member to a suicide. And you know, if you guys know anybody that is struggling with any type of personal issues or mental disabilities or stuff that, you know, maybe we can help somebody out and help save a life reach out to a hotline, reach out to that friend, do what you got to do. But make sure you tell your loved ones that you love them. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate you watching, and make sure to check us out Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, because we're still releasing podcasts every Sunday. Thanks so much, guys.